Hi everyone, my name's Abul again, and welcome back to CRTV powered by City Realtor. In today's video, I will be talking about what deposit protection is and why it's so important to protect a deposit as a residential landlord. Tenancy deposit protection was introduced on the 6th of April 2007 as part of the Housing Act 2004. It applies to all assured short-hold tenancies in England and Wales where a deposit is taken. First question, who does this apply to? If you are a residential landlord, this video is for you. Even if you have an agent managing your properties, you should ensure that they are protecting all the deposits they are holding on your behalf, as ultimately the liability may fall on you as the landlord. So, when you rent out a property to a tenant, you will most likely take a security deposit. That at the moment can only be a maximum of 5 weeks rent. Once they have paid you that deposit, by law you have 30 days to protect it under one of the schemes. There is a misconception that you have to protect holding deposits. That's the deposit when you pay to reserve a property. That holding deposit, by the way, can only be a maximum of 1 week's rent. But that is not the case. You can in fact wait until the full deposit is transferred into your account. Now, how do you actually protect it? So there's actually 3 government approved organizations that you can use to protect the deposit. They are My Deposits, DPS, and TDS. With each of these organizations, there's actually 2 different ways you can protect the deposit. One is called the custodial method, which is when you transfer the actual money into their account. And the other is called the insured method, where you actually keep it in your own ring-fenced account. What can happen if you don't protect the deposit? Firstly, your tenants can actually ask you to pay the deposit back to them. Also, whilst we still have the Section 21, you can't actually serve it unless you have protected the deposit. And in the worst instances, if a tenant actually ends up taking you to court, they can actually claim up to 3 times the amount of the deposit. Now, you might be asking, is there any instances as a landlord where I may not need to protect the deposit? And the answer is yes. And they are the following 4 instances. Firstly, if you're a resident landlord, meaning if you live in the house that you are renting out, maybe you're renting out rooms to lodgers, then you do not need to protect a deposit that they are giving you. Secondly, if the rental value is more than £100,000 per annum, then you do not need to protect that deposit. Thirdly, if it is a company let, so if you're renting out to a company, then you do not need to protect that deposit. And fourthly, student accommodation that are let directly by universities do not need to protect deposits. So that brings us to the end of the video. If you are a landlord and you haven't protected your tenant's deposit, I hope you know what to do now. And I hope everybody enjoyed that video, and I'll see you in the next one.